Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Friday night. Welcome to Tone Talk with Marcus Anthony and Dave Friedman. We have Rex Brown. Rex Brown, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good.
Thanks for
Just
joining.
trying to get. Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate this. Very nice
Yeah.
of you
Oh,
fellas.
absolutely.
I watch the show all the time, man, and just love it.
That's so
It's
cool. That's just mind blowing. Boom.
everything on it. From the cables to the input jacks, and then from there on.
Well,
Just
you're a
where it
gear
starts,
guy.
right?
You're a gear guy. I learned that.
I've got,
I learned that years ago now.
I'm one of those kind of cats that's got so many pedals. In fact, I've got like a sitting right next to me. I probably have 50 sitting next to me that I haven't even pulled out yet. So anyway, yeah, man, I'm a gear nut.
Is it mostly bass gear or is it both guitar gear and
in Pantera I didn't use a lot of I just used a Sans amp. And then we ran it directly out of the Sans amp for the and also we mic'd the cabs up, of course, and that was a huge part of the sound. But I really didn't start getting into pedals until most everybody else did here in the last 5-6 years. With all this stuff that's coming out. I mean, of course I did, when I was starting, early in my the first band you get in, if you can afford a pedal, or sometimes you would buy the pedal before you buy the nice guitar. We ran
because it makes noise. It makes some sort of new noise.
Get you a little, I think Squire Tellys back then were $175.
Yeah.
Back in the late 70s. So that's where I come from.
That's probably what they
are. Man, I played some Squire Tellys that sound great.
That's what I've heard. The Vibe series, I think they have them.
Classic
Vibe series, yeah, classic Vibe.
That's really quite good, and I think they're only, aren't they only like $3.99 or something, or some shit like that.
I saw a classic Vibe bass that I was like, oh, I might want to get that Squire.
Yeah, change the pickups and you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you're good. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, to be honest, if you know what wood it's made out of, if it's an alder body with a maple neck or something, you know what you're getting, and then it's just a matter of hardware and pickups, really, and then a luthier to maybe dress the frets properly and do the edges nice and everything. But once you do that stuff, it's like a high-end guitar.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, my assistant this week sent me a video of this guy, and he had put a Telly bridge with the pickup in it. Have you guys seen this video? And then he puts it however long the diameter is. I think it's 25 inches.
Oh, I saw. There's no body.
And then there's no body, and they're going, oh, it's not in the wood. It's not, it's just, well, yeah. I disagree. It's all in your hands.
There's a little bit in the wood too, but
there's a little bit in the wood. Yes, of course.
But it's true. It's all in your hands. I mean, how many great guitar players and bass players we know that just the only way you're getting their sound is to do a hand transplant.
Right.
Exactly.
And then you don't have their brain, so you still don't have it.
Back in the day, Badam used to always have a video camera with him, and he videoed everything on the road. It was just like he turned into a different person. So I used to say he had interchangeable arms, one with the guitar pick and the other with the camera. That's basically what it was. Just always had and once the guitar pick got in his hand, my God, it was ferocious. So
yeah.
Oh yeah. No doubt about that.
Speaking of ferocious guitar players, Jakey Lee says hi.
Nice. I hadn't seen Jake in a while.
I just saw him over the weekend. It was in Vegas. So
you're doing a new head for him, right? Or
we did a limited run of 200 heads.
Not the red.
Yeah, the red one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And that
he's a good dude. I played on his first solo record, and they just sent me a track, and he was supposed to play on mine. It turned out that Zach played on it for the band I was in called Kid Level Hill with Benny Apsey.
Yeah,
and did that for a while. And man, I was on the back of the bus, and I just had an epiphany. This is 2014. And I go, I've been on the road for 33 years. It's time to go home. My kids were like just turning 14. And that's really from the Pantera story. I mean, I was on the road constantly. It seemed like with either down, you know, I think we all kind of know the story, but I got with the Kildare Hill guys, and I was just like, man, I've got to go feel what the grass feels like without shoes on again. You know, go get clear-headed, take 2 years off. You know, when you say you're taking 2 years off, that never happens unless there's a pandemic, you know.
Right.
But then it was just like, I had a friend that moved to Nashville. He goes, man, you got to come to Nashville. It's really, really cool. And this was when it was really, everybody was moving there. And we wrote a bunch of songs. And yeah, I should have got him when the getting was good, but that's where all my stuff is. And that's where, you know, that's where I use a studio way out in the middle of nowhere, and just write music, you know, awesome. with a whole bunch of different guys. And it's different than what I am known for. And I think that helps as a musician to do different things. You know, it's not like I'm taking up the flute or anything, by God, but, you know, you won't catch me in a polka tie, or anything, but you know, it's cool to keep playing, you know, and that's what I've done. I just got tired of the road, man. After 30 something years, I was just like, man, this is enough. And now I've got the itch to go back on again, and I'm planning on doing that next year and the next. So one last one.
That'd be great. So you're gonna get a band together and at least do a bunch of shows.
We'll see what happens.
That's cool.
It's all good.
It's amazing. You said you've been touring 33 years. I mean, I can't believe it's 30 years since Vulgar Display.
So, you know? Yeah, then you have to add another, you know, we started the band. I got in the band in 82. May the 7th, 82. And so we fought it out in the clubs until we got signed. And when we got signed, when the real work began, you know, that's when we were on the, you know, the Cowboys from Hell tour. We did 338 days, no break.
Wow.
You're gone. You're not coming home to get a change of underwear. You know, that was,
that's crazy.
And we had a blast in an RV of all things.
Oh, really?
And it was a brand new, sparkling, you know, everything. And it came back, and I think every bolt in that thing was gone, lost on the road somewhere in North America.
I was going to say, what did it look like when it came back?
there was no, I can't cuss on this thing, correct?
Sure.
There was no shitter on this thing left. Vinny had run over curbs and knocked off the knocked the shitter out of it. Bless him. And just, you know, the chairs that we would to kind of sit in to sleep in, you know, the bolts were missing off of those. We'd have to run down to the hardware store and, you know, fix something so you could sleep decently. There was, I don't know, there's probably 13 swinging dicks on that thing. It was crazy, man.
Holy
shit. Like the engine mount's right in the middle of the, you know, it's not in the front of the thing, it's in the middle. So it was off, and we had to, like, the brake lights we had to do manually. It was a mess. And we were just broke as can be. You know, we opened up a Suicidal Tendencies, did that for 3.5, 4 months. Then went to Europe with Judas Priest, and the rest they say is history. So, you know,
wow.
Came right back after that, and not but 2 weeks later, I think I had time to move to another place, and we did Vulgar Display, which comes out to be 30 on the 25th, which is insane.
Yeah, it is.
It really does seem like yesterday. You know what I'm saying? It's like the feeling of, oh God, because I remember the times that was the band at its true form. You know?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
that was one hell of a statement of a record. You know,
when someone says like 1992, it's like I'm not thinking 30 years ago. You know, like it does that doesn't seem to like calculate with me, but it is.
It doesn't. I kind of go by I just live day by day, and that's all I can do. Great days are great. Like keep your expectation level just at 5. Something goes down, you better pull them bootstraps up. Something goes great, then that's great. You're on the right track.
Yeah, for sure.
Other than that, we just got to make up a new chord every time in our sleep, and and it's a nidus, and I'm good.
So where are you at? I know you're.
I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, New Mexico. Okay.
And moved out here. I guess it's a place that I kept my stuff at. I have another home in Texas. Now that my kids are grown, my daughter stays there. And so, we bought this house that we're in now, and literally tore all the walls out and just, we gutted the thing and put it back together. And I've been here. I love it. I'm 40 minutes from Santa Fe. I'm, an hour and 15 minutes from a ski slope. Only 2.5 hours of Taos, New Mexico is just, hippie city, It's almost a treasure in itself. I mean, this place is just laid back, cool, man.
That's awesome. I've never been.
I had to get away from the rat race, and this was a good place for me to come in, and it's not too far from Texas, you make the drive. It's not that far.
Right.
Or jump on a plane, which I did when the kids were, we'll get to that point.
Yeah. We have a question from Yingzo Lynch. Any particular guitarist you're interested in working with?
Who I just I did a record. It's not out yet. I did it with Richie Faulkner, and Richie and I have become really good friends, and it's really progressively heavy and cool. Richie's a very melodic player. Mm-hmm. And then it's got my drummer that played on my first solo record. He played. They tracked him playing on one of those electronic kits, and then sampled the sounds into a real kit, which I'm not too crazy about. That's not the way I would do it. But it was Richie's record, and he's got a new singer now, and I don't know when that's coming out. Those guys are still touring. So that was a real thrill.
That's cool.
Who else would I love to work with? I just there's tons of guys out there I'd love to work with. At some point or another, I just had to take a break in the schedule for a while. Mm-hmm. I really did, and I just after, like I said, 34 years, I just did enough.
You ever play with Jakey Lee? Did you say that you did?
No, I played on his record.
That's right.
I played on a bunch of records. After the tragic thing with Dime, I moved to LA of all places instead of going to freaking Montana or somewhere to get my head together. But I immersed myself in work, and I couldn't use my name because I was still under contract. And we always this producer buddy of mine that did a lot of stuff at the Hit Factory up in New York. I probably did 50 records and couldn't tell you one of them. I just had to keep my head going and, being conscious. And Philip and I got down back together, and we went and toured that for another 5-6 years and put a record out. And then Killed Devil Hill for 4 years.
That's when I first met you.
That's right, because
Killed Devil Hill.
You don't know this, but I used to come in your shop. When did you get that shop?
I don't know, but I remember you coming in the shop
20 years ago. So I used to pop my head in
2011 or 10 or something.
And I knew who you were, but we were never properly introduced. And this is when you years before that. And then you started I'd see the guitars on the wall, but I never saw the back room, but I would always fly. I would fly into Burbank, and I would always make whoever was taking me wherever I needed to go to stop by Dave's. because I wanted to check out.
Yeah,
what
I
he
do
had
remember
going
you coming in. Yeah,
on.
it was around the Kill Devil Hill time. Yeah,
that's exactly
with the
what
guitar
it was.
player that was playing. I don't remember his name.
Mike Zavon, great guitar player, man.
Yeah, and I want to ask you something on that record, or at least some of the videos I've seen. What the hell is the bass sound? God, it's good.
That's the tried and true Spectre straight into an amp pack with the Sans amp. I believe
just great sounding.
Thank you. I found that those Spectres sound so good on a record. On all the recordings that I've done, and the first 2 Pantera records I was using Charvel Jacksons on the first one. Second one, I was still using a Charvel Jacksons, and I think I threw a Music Man in, but I just didn't find anything that could really cut through the mix until Far Beyond Driven, which I'd borrowed a bunch of basses from Rachel Bowen from Skid Row because he had a ton of them, and was endorsed by them. And then Stewart commissioned me 2 or 3 of those, and that's when the whole game changed. The really active pickups, and those things were scorching, 18-volt. And the way I attack, instead of turning the volume down, I just sync the pickups. You know what I'm saying? And they're humbuckers. Or the PJ configuration. I find that I get more woody tone out of that than anything. So it just depends on, in the studio, I'm always pegging it in the red anyway. So it's already got to break up before it even hits a speaker. And then you just put a little bit of secret sauce on it, and there was one pedal that I used, and I'm just not going to tell you what it was. It's mine, and I'm going to keep it.
There you go.
Cool. I respect that.
And it's not what you think it is.
But it was a great bass sound.
Thank you.
On that record. Particularly on that record, I thought. At least I saw the videos. Yeah, I think so. Whatever the main videos were from originally. You just see the video and you're listening and going, God, that's a good bass sound. Fuck.
Thank you.
Just deep.
Years and years on that, and I think we sold about 5,000 records.
Too bad. It was a really good band, actually.
Dude, it was an awesome band. Vinny.
The singer was amazing. Vinny, of course. The guitar player was good.
Just didn't work out, man. It's just that first of the 2010s. Let's put it 10, 11, 12 years ago. The whole music resurgence of the scenes just leveled off. There was, we went and toured, and there was nothing. Unless you're on a major tour, and you have to go through the small places and build a following before you can do that. I don't think that Vinny and I were ready to jump back that way. You know what I'm saying? I was into it for the music. I'm always about the jam, and always about the song. The other 22 hours of the day got a hold of him, and he just, once he left, it was kind of like, I think that's when it hit me that it was about time to go take care of my children. That's very important. Those are in the formative years. They were 14, and right. And so I would fly back, fly there for 3 weeks, and then come back home for 3 weeks, and fly and see them for 3, and did that until they graduated from high school. So those are the important things in life, much more than all of this in the long run, when it all comes down to it.
It is very true.
Love and life.
Yep. Family, friends. Yep.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. Sloppy Fingers has a question. This is actually for Dave. Dave, I just bought your 2 Notes pack, and I'm happy. Real tube amps for front end and impulse responses for recording. Great hybrid. I got the same pack. It's fucking awesome. Great pack. Yeah.
I'm not looking at the account yet to see how many have sold actually. So why not? Yeah, no, I know. I'm just gonna let it ride for a while and then look at it
and be surprised.
Yeah.
So tell me about this 2 Note stuff, guys, because I'm not a big modeling fan. I like getting it right out of the damn speaker.
Well, it's not really modeling. So you have your amp goes into
an impulse,
a load box, and it's a reactive load box, and then that goes straight into your interface and your computer. You can either load these impulse responses into the box that you're using, or you can pull up their wall of sound in the computer and load these virtual cabinets.
It's
per se.
endless, right?
Yeah, and it's endless in the cabinets you can do. Like I just did a cab pack where, you know, I have the cab I've used for years in my shop. That's a bare wood old Marshall cab with these greenbacks from the 90s, and you know, I had an old cab with 65 watt speakers, and it works really well. I mean, you can get really good sounds. And you know, you can do it without miking in a loud environment. You can record in your office or wherever.
That's true.
And get really good results.
Richie called me one day, partner, and he goes, "Man, I blew this aux box up." I said, "What do you mean you blew it up? Those things could take anything." He goes, "No, man, this is the second one I've blown up." I said, "Apparently you don't have it wired up right or something, dude, because it just doesn't sound." He goes, "They keep sending it. You know, I send them back and they keep sending them to me." So I really like when those first came out, and they, you know, of course I get on YouTube and I go down the whole rabbit hole, and God damn, you spend your whole day sometimes doing that. And, for me. And so anyway, I was checking that out. I was like, yeah, I should get one of those. And then I thought about it, and I was like, but all my big stuff's in Nashville. You know, I just have my little practice amps here. You know, so what I needed. So I never really got into it. I'm still one of those old school guys that likes plugging straight in and get it.
Well, if you got a studio to work in, who cares? Let's plug straight in and use the cabinet and mic it up.
Yeah. That the new everything's a plug-in, you know.
Yeah.
Nah. Not just me.
Is there a particular speaker that you prefer, Rex?
Well, you can't go terribly wrong with those old greenbacks, you know. If that's what you're looking for. Even though I do like the Celestians, let me tell you a wild story. I was in Germany, and I was hanging out with Hans Peter Welfer, who owns Framus Warwick, and that's a huge Star Trek kind of situation he has out there. And went to the amp department, and we put together I told them that I want, you know, the heaviest 10-inch speaker that they could possibly put, and I want to say that these magnets on the back of these, Dave, were what 300 watt. Does that make sense?
Maybe
I have it wrong.
Well, I mean, it might be a 300 watt speaker, but who knows what the size of the magnet was? But yeah, it was probably a big thick magnet.
These cabs were like the old acoustics where they were baffled in the middle, you know. So you had two sets of fours, and then they had a little baffle right there in the middle that they would come but scoot back around, and they're not in parallel like, say, you know, the series parallel that Ampegs are, the way they, you know, each speaker runs off each other, you know, the old Billy Sheehan pulled with the battery thing. But anyway, if you had enough power with these, and I did, you know, and it's a mean sounding cab. And we did 6 of these things, and then six 210s on the other side of it. So gigantic, man. You know, I've got so many bass amps, I don't know what to do with them. You know, it's like you can't get rid of them. You know, you can't ship them anywhere. You know, you got to get a Bobcat truck if you want them to go anywhere. And you start running out of storage pretty quick after you've done as much touring as I have. And anyway, there's been some really great stuff. But you know, for guitar, I love the greenbacks. I think that the Eminence has come a long way, I think. As has the prices, up about 50%. But but I still go back to Celestion. I think they make a really great speaker for bass too. You know, like the ones I was just talking about. So
that's cool. Jonathan Ellison has got a question. No question, actually. Just wanted to say thanks for the years of music and tone, Rex. Also, what's up, Mark and Dave? You guys all rock. Take it easy. Hey, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate
Jonathan,
it.
thank you.
Yeah, man.
Much appreciated, man. It's all about the fan, dude. You know, if we didn't want our music heard, we wouldn't have put the shit out. You know, some say that, you know, the old David Lee Roth saying of, you know, if you stick your head over the fence one time's too many, somebody probably gonna throw a rock at it. Well, that's what happened, folks. And you know, that's what really puts a smile more than anything on my face when somebody comes up and goes, a situation that has changed our life, or listening to this song or the lyrics or something about it that I've been involved with that has kind of changed, you know, the way they look at life, and for the better. And that's awesome. It's very cool.
Yeah.
That's the most gratifying feeling of playing music for me.
That's cool. That's great. Bren Lourdes, Rex, can you tell us some of your favorite bass riffs, and who's your inspiration to create your amazing sound?
So my favorite bass riffs, anything off of, let's see here. I just got this new book. Oh, it's on this other side. Anyway, the Jimmy Page book.
Oh yeah. I got to get that book.
So anything, anyway, man, this thing is smoking. I'm going to pull it out and just show you. It's insane. Even the cover.
Yeah, I got it too. Yeah.
Oh man. All right.
Anyway,
I just sat there and thumbed through it from front to back. It just sat on the couch, just going like, man, look at that picture. Oh shit, look at that.
I haven't read a word in it. I just looked at the pictures, and I need to do that. I've got a bunch of
captions are good too. Like, you know, they tell the story.
Man, it goes through every guitar he had to then some and then some. As far as players that I tried to get my tone after, back in the day, we used to play clubs, and it was 6 nights a week, 3 to 4 sets a night. So, and this is before, you know, like I said before, I don't use pedals. You had to try to make your playing style sound like that cover that you were getting paid to do to turn the people on. And so I would think the only influence that I have would be my early me. I wasn't really trying to capture anybody's sound, because Daryl's sound was so huge, even from back when he was, you know, 17 years old, that trying to get the bass through the mix to start with. I would say, you know, I'd say my influences for, say, in 81 were Michael Anthony, Geddy Lee, and John Paul Jones. So, you know, just something kind of clear. But that was about the time the EMG came out with the first active pickup, where you could really hear every defining note. And that's, you know, the variations of different basses and stuff like that. That's how I've got my tone. But it's all in the attack, man. That right hand just hitting it as hard as you can and slinging it down to your knees. I think I'm going to pull it up a little bit. But the old back ain't what you used to be, boys. But, you know.
Now, are you predominantly a pick player or a finger picker?
I do both. You know, for this, the last set of recordings I did, man, listen to this. You're going to trip. Have you ever sat down and listened to Jocko's solo record? I mean, just from start to finish?
No, not start to
finish. And neither one of you are bass players, right?
No.
I mean, I'm just starting to play a little bit, but no.
I got my old Stuart Spector made me this insane fretless. It's an in-house design, and there's no serial number on it, anything else. He just gave it to me as a present one year. And so I tried to learn that whole record from beginning to end on the fretless.
Oh, geez.
And just about drove myself insane, you know, trying to get that tone. But I was, so where I'm kind of getting to, I got really close, but not that close. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you asked a jazz dude, he would go, no, you're not. That's not. There's many different interpretations of the way Jocko played. But it wasn't so much. It was just the way that guy played, and I hadn't felt that since I was back in lab band when I was 15 years old with Vinnie Paul as a drummer, and one of the, you know, we were all state every year, you know, and sight ring and everything else, both of us. And so the jazz thing really came back to my head, you know, something I've been missing for years. And that's also incorporated in the Pantera stuff. A lot of the time changes and what we did, even though it's ZZ Top basically sped up, BPM a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's that triplet shuffle, but about 185.
185
beat per minute.
We got from Jay super chat. Saw Pantera 5 times live in Ontario. Unfucking believable live act. Thanks for the awesome memories. Watching Rex play Cowboys live while headbanging is quite a sight to see. I just watched the video today, actually. Rest in peace, Dime and Vinny. Yep, for sure.
I need to look for that. He doesn't say a year. So I remember, man, we played this place called Buffoons in Ontario. I think it was Montreal.
Well, I watched you guys from Ozfest.
Oh, okay.
And that was fucking brutal. It was amazing.
What year? Is it 98?
I
can't remember, man. We played so many of those things. And those years,
it doesn't say, actually, unfortunately.
Those years we had put out let's see which record it was. Oh my God, I've lost my freaking mind. We put out Great Southern Trendkill, and then we went on the road until 2000. So this thing came out in 96. We were on the road until 2000. So we had played quite a few of those Ozfest, and that was nonstop touring. But going back to the question, Ontario, I love playing Canada. I just love the fans and how warm they are and just how cool they are. And but this one night at Buffoons, this guy, he said, "Hey man, it's private dressing room. We just can't let everybody in." He decided to throw a beer bottle and hit me right on the fucking crown of my head. And he was he was taken care of. I'll put it that way.
I bet he was.
Too good. But anyway, other than that, besides that, there's always one bad apple, right? So other than that, I've had, and that was even a great time. So there you go.
That's cool. Other than the lump on your head.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. It left a little sting for a couple. I got a hard head, man.
Doug Thacker, thanks for the super chat. Rex, can you talk about how the Russia 1991 tour came about and what the experience was like? Amazing. Thanks for all the music, man.
There's not words to explain the experience. How it came together was we were in the studio making Vulgar, and we got a call in like the 1st of August, and it was from Mark Ross, who had signed us, our A&R guy, but we never let A&R guys in the studio. We just did what we did, right? They never picked single. Well, I guess they're the only ones that picked the singles. We never wrote singles, but we got, after a certain period of time, I guess with Vulgar, almost 30 years ago, that we started getting a lot of metal radio play, and then it kind of veered off, and we got a little bit of mainstream. So we were in the studio, and we hadn't played live, and this has been probably. We were just finishing the record. I want to say we were maybe 4 or 5 songs short, and so we got the crew together. We shipped everything over there immediately that we had as our B rig or whatever we had that we could use, and left the main studio stuff there and rented some stuff from I think in town, just to get us through for the gig. But once you got there, man, we got there 3 days earlier. And it was the day after they had shot the cannon through the fucking Congress building or whatever they call those, the parliamentary building. And that was the end of the USSR. And that was, flying into that place, with all this shit going on now, flying into Russia back then in Moscow was like watching, it was like a 60-watt light bulb. There was no neon signs. These people, I asked the translator, I said, what are the people standing in line for? She was bread. Like it was nothing, They would stand in line and spend their whole, they had put in a McDonald's / Pizza Hut. That was the biggest thing in Moscow. And people would save up for months just to go. Maybe a month's wages, like a month's wages for your family to go to McDonald's. That was the state of what it was in. And when they opened up the borders, and when all that happened, it was just the coup and everything. You could feel the electricity in the air, number one. Then you see how many people are there, and the flags from the different countries. I guess they knew where to go. You know, these flags had to be 20 feet tall. We went on stage, and you got to remember, man, we were still a club band. You know, we had been on these tours, but never played big stages except for, you know, and with Judas Priest on, you know, a quarter of the stages they're using. So I would have called us the biggest, you know, at that point, the biggest bar band in the world. And we got on that stage, and just it's the crowd just, like I said, there's no words to really explain that the power from them coming to us from the stage, and they had never heard, or maybe some of them had, you know, that had come all the way from wherever they had come from, and that's a long ways to get to Moscow, that they gave to us. We had 6 songs to play, and that was all we had, man. You know, it's just undescribable. I wish I had the words. It was nuts. I wish yeah.
That's awesome.
That was one of those incredible things in rock and roll that nobody expected, and it was a Woodstock of Europe. I'll put it that way. Easily.
It's cool. It looks like there's some video footage.
Yeah, there's this whole movie.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
for those, I think it's for those who came to rock or something like that. It was AC/DC, Metallica, Black Crowes, and us.
I'll have to check that out.
I got to go there once, but not till like early 2000s or something.
Looked like Vegas, right?
More so, yes. From what I understand, even more so now. You know, give it the, you know, we're 20 years later from when I went.
Everybody has gold teeth and fucking, you know, in a Rolls Royce, right?
Well,
we got robbed in Philo got robbed in Red Square.
Oh yeah,
by the freaking military.
Oh fuck!
Took his wallet, took Pepper's wallet, and luckily he didn't get the fuck beat out of him. You know, or killed it.
I remember that they said if you were going out when we were there, we were staying right across from, you know, the Red Square, and if you're going out, don't take your passport, don't take a lot of money or hide the money or
right.
Wow.
You know, the best place to put it is the bottom of your boot.
Go in groups.
Yeah, they were in a group and they still got fucked. I mean,
so of course we found a bar there that was Bar California in Moscow. Wait, run by a South African guy.
That'll work.
Full on South African guy that put up Bar California, and they served Mexican food.
Oh, that must have been.
I didn't. We didn't eat the Mexican food, but didn't even want to approach. Didn't even want to look at it.
Just give me a drink.
Those places are bad news. Sometimes, yeah. I've had food poisoning so many times. We're just going into one of the places, and that looks pretty good. We'll try it out. Nah. No.
Oh, you got to try.
Every once in a while. You gotta live right.
Tricks Drop D. Hey Rex, Dave and Mark. Rex, any insight into the incredibly tight sound between you and Daryl on Vulgar and the other albums? I heard Dime quad tracked. How did that work? Thanks again.
Well, I won't say quad tracked. I would say he ran left and right and then went up center. And so I always put the bass on last. And when we would do that in the playback, we get the kick, the snare, and the hi-hat. And that's how I would lay the bass on top of it. That's how we got that microscopic sound. And that's how we really dialed in, that massive crunch. You know, the bass was just kind of filling out the parts. Even though I made a conscious intention not to play like a bass player, not like, you know, if it was up to Dom, he would have wanted me to play everything just like he did. I disagreed, and it worked. So trying to find those frequencies of where you know it. Here's the thing about being a musician, and to answer the question real simple is you got to know when not to play. You got to know when to play and when not to play. You know, some of the best bass players in the world, you don't hear them going off the whole time. You hear them only in those good spots where it needs a fill that's some that you can hum, you know, and that's what I tried to keep going with the low end, you know. I was more about the song and the structure more than I was about showing my finesse. The finesse was all right here, you know. The way if you know that's just the way, especially on Vulgar. Now, you know, we started on the next record. It started to be a little bit more open. That's what we wanted. You know, we wanted to get that really live sound that we were going after. So, and I think we captured it really good on Far Beyond. But that Vulgar, that was very precise and what I call microscopic on a 2-inch.
How long did it take to record the album? Was it a long time?
It didn't take long. The thing was, is we used to write in the studio, and we wouldn't just, we were writing for the record. You know what I'm saying? So we would, with this record, and this is really crazy, we would get there at noon or grab something to eat. No later than 1 o'clock, 1:30, we would be putting songs together. And Philip would come down. Philip and I lived actually literally like 50 yards from the studio, and there was a fence there, and we actually cut a little hole, you know, that was next to this tree, and so we could get back and, you know, back and forth to where we had to go. So Philip would come down for about half the day, then he'd go back home and he would sing at night. So we had to finish our shit by, you know, say dinner time. But it just came out like that. That record, it was so magical and so musical, the way it came together. That you know, of course, you run into road bumps here and there, and I remember there was a couple of times that we had that on this, but we've had major roadblocks where we just said, you know, let's go home for 3 weeks and come back. You know, but this one, it was just solid all the way through. When we were there, it was solid work. There wasn't a whole lot of drinking going
on. Was Cowboys from Hell the same way, or did you guys have all those songs pretty much written before you got in the studio?
Those songs we had recorded that record. I think that was the third time, you know, the one that's actually put out. We used that as a demo to kind of get signed. And then we had gone back and tried to, you know, we thought we could better it, you know, and the first one's always the best. So we brought Terry down and that one went really quick because we had all the songs pretty much done except for, I think, no, we had all the songs for that one. So that one went, you know, that's your first record. You've had a little time to play with that one, you know, but that's, you know, when you look at those two records, I think, you know, Cowboys got us in the door, and then Vulgar really, that's when it all just honed. You know, when you're playing with Suicidal Tendencies every night back in that 90, you know, if you don't learn anything from that, then you're in the wrong game. You know, those guys were ferocious of Rob Trujillo in the band, you know, and still are. And Mike Muir is just, oh my God, what a just amazing frontman.
Yeah.
We learned a lot.
That's cool. Smitry, thank you, Rex. Pantera was so much more than a band. You guys gave us a way of life through the 90s. Best show I've ever seen was Pantera, the Commodore Ballroom here in Vancouver, British Columbia, November 6th, 92. Oh wow, awesome.
Yeah, and guess who got his head shaved that night? Tommy Lee.
Oh, yeah.
At that show. Thank you, Rex Pantera. Can you put that back up?
Yeah.
Well, thanks. What's his name? Smitry. I'm looking for our glasses. I can't find them anyway. Smitry gave us a way of life. Man, those are some heavy words, boy. You know, we were only as good as our last note and only as good as our last show. That's the way we put it. You know what I'm saying? If man, if you hit an E flat when you're supposed to hit an E on that last note, man, you just didn't go there. Not in this band. You know, we would sit back in the back and argue about tempos until 2 a.m. Man, you're going too fast in that bit. Or, lay back. It's all about the groove, man. It had to be those tempos to get that power groove that we're striving for. And it perfection at that point, kind of after Vulgar, we had been clinical enough. It was time to kind of experiment, even though we knew exactly where our records needed that, how we wanted to sound.
Right. That's awesome. Thanks, Maitri.
Yeah, good old Tommy Lee. Those guys were making, what record was that? The one after Feel Good. I can't remember. I saw a lot of Tommy back then. It's in the first Pantera home video, I believe.
So he got his head shaved that night?
Yeah. Bill took the whole thing and just, sheared his head. Tommy's a good guy.
Why did they shave his head?
He wanted it done, and the amount of booze that we filled into him, he couldn't say no. I got it. Nobody shaved my head at that point. But he just let Philip do it. We just something about our, man, we were 4 different individuals, playing the same game and on the same attitude and same wavelength of where we wanted to go, and it just, all of that combined was it made this thing called Pantera. And think of the name. Where did that come from? Well, man, it came from somebody in high school that gave us means panther in Spanish. That's exactly what. Not after the car, after the Pantera in Spanish. Mexican American.
I didn't know that. I always thought about the car. Yeah.
Never.
So I think the album that was after Dr. Feelgood was just called Motley Crue.
That was with Karabi, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. They were cutting with Bob at were they cutting with Bob or with Claremont? I can't remember. Either Bob. They were doing it up there, and I actually went to Studio Snake Sabo, which is, Snake's one of my best friends forever. Is part of my management team now, and and anyway, he was going to meet us tonight, and he might just pop on somewhere, so look around for him. But anyway, he was just kind of hanging out with us, and we had, we would have a lot of fun. The shows were one thing, and then after the shows were a completely different other thing. And we had all kind of different crazy characters out there, man. From, Tommy to Grohl when he was first starting the Foo Fighters and all that kind of stuff. And it was really cool. And just tons of other people. We just invite, come on, let's go. Our bus is yours.
That's awesome.
Kind of mentality. Everything was family. Everything was family, and we all had each other's backs, and it was a lot of fun. Until somebody got arrested or whatever.
Till it went too far.
Yeah.
Ted Rackley, thank you, man. I saw Rex with Kill Devil Hill, one of the best bass sounds I've ever heard live. Not the gear. Great stage presence. The only other guy I heard who had incredible live bass tone was Greg Chason. With Jake Red Dragon. Did I say his name right? Chason.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was originally in Badlands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for some reason I'd switched over. A good friend of mine was running Harkey at the time, and they had just come out with these cabs and heads. And I remember spending about a week out in the garage in the middle of August trying to get that Ampeg tone. I just couldn't get it, and tried as hard as I could, And it was almost there, but it was that bass. It was that white Spectre that I have.
Yeah, you gotta have
some are better than the others.
Gotta have the Ampeg.
You gotta have the Ampeg, dude. That's just all there is to it. I don't know why I did that. They just offered me a lot of fucking money, I guess. I don't know. They almost sounded like I'm not playing them now. They're sitting around somewhere.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I had said to a friend just the other day, I was looking at a Hartkey cab, and he's like, "Yeah, I've never played one before." I'm like, "Yeah, maybe I'll just stay away from that."
now these weren't the old 10 cabs that I think Ellison used to use, Junior. Those had a thing about them, and you can get those punchy if you just turn the tweeter off, and turn the treble nearly off. Mm-hmm. But there's nothing like the punch of an Ampeg fridge. There's just nothing like it. You can try. Man, I've had guys sit and tell me, the 410s, man, stack those up, and I'm like, no way, dude, no way.
No. A friend of mine that I used to go see growing up, played bass in this band, and he used to use two Ampeg cabs laid on their side, stacked on top of each other.
I did that,
and he would have one Ampeg SVT going into one, and a high watt going into the other cab.
Nice.
So he'd get all the grit and grind from the high watt and all the oomph from the fucking other thing, and that was awesome.
Just what we were talking about before the show started. That's what I'm kind of going for with this next bass rig. That's what I want. And I really do like the high watt stuff, and I know you can make it for me, Dave.
We'll work something out. We'll figure something out. Sure, I'd love to.
Awesome.
Speaking of your rigs, do you want to talk about your bass?
Which one? Yeah. My God, guys, I almost forgot. The new. Let me scoot back so you get. There we go.
Yep.
The new Rex Gibson Thunderbird Deluxe. So we far back enough.
Yeah,
awesome. That looks awesome.
All right, so we got the RB. In fact, guys, I've got a sheet that I can read the specs off of. If I got to go get my glasses. And anyway, I did a little caricature on the back, and it took me about 15 minutes.
See
that?
A little higher.
A little higher.
Where am I?
A little more. There you go. There you go.
Look at him.
That's awesome.
So anyway, these dudes have they're basically a Rex Brown voiced. Let me get the spec sheet that I have sitting here.
And this is Gibson.
34-inch scale Gibson.
Yeah.
Now, look, they haven't done this for a whole lot of bass players before. If you notice, I think Nicky's the only one that's really had anything except for Jack Cassidy and Woody Allen from Government Mule, and of course the Allman Brothers towards the end. 34-inch scale, 3-piece 3-ply neck. It has the hip shut. Can I go get my? Get my damn glasses, boys. I can't read that.
We all understand.
No problem.
I think all of us do.
Tied to these fuckers.
1 second.
No problem. This is a good time to remind you guys that we got a contest going on. If you subscribe and check out our last video that we did, if you answer the question that's in the comment section, if you can answer the question that we had in that video, and we've got a lot of comments in that video now. It's like over 600 comments. We'll pick all the people who gave the right answer, and then we will pick, once we hit 20,000 subscribers, we'll pick the person to win the guitar, the Kramer Stage Master. And it's worldwide, so anybody can enter as long as you are a subscriber to the show. Okay.
Yeah. So get on there and subscribe.
Yep.
Or get your wives to subscribe, or get someone to subscribe.
Hey, I'm subscribed. Can I get in?
Yeah, man. You got it. I don't have any celebrity rules or past guests. And then also check out Sweetwater, guys. All right. They're the ones who gave us the guitar.
I really like Sweetwater. Tell you the truth. I've been using those guys for a long time.
Oh, they're great.
Just a little mom and pa.
Oh yeah.
Hang on, I'm almost there, boys.
No problem.
Run from one side of the ranch to the other. Try to find a pair of glasses. Anyway, so this bass, man, it's been 2 years, 2.5. God, I think in the making. It has hip shut ultralight mini Clover tuners and a drop D, which I love. It's got a hip shut bass bridge, which is it's that 3-point bridge. I don't know. Should I pick it up again and show you?
Sure.
You know what I'm talking about. It's the old hip shut. Just took the old bridge off of Thunderbird, and it has this 3-point.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that?
A little bit a little bit over, a little bit more the other way. There you go.
See that little 3?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's notched in there. Anyway, that that came on me back in as far as back as like 71, because that's where the holes were for mine that we were talking about earlier. All the stuff on this was actually we use mine as a template, so to speak. Has Rex Brown voiced Gibson bass bucker pickups, which are basically called the Rex Buster. It's got 2 volumes and then 1 tone control. The active clean boost with the push pull pot, which I think I showed you guys earlier. The very last one on the bottom is you can have it passive or active, and when you push it down and goes into active, it gives it about 4 or 5 dB of gain, but it's a real good, healthy kind of active, not over the top. It's really kind of smooth and clean, but you can get it dirty,
Mm-hmm.
if you got the hand for it. Gold medal knurled. Knurled. They put gold medal knurled control knobs, control cover with the gold stamp Rex stylized image, gold pick guard with the black eagle stamp, signature truss rod cover, gloss ebony finish, mahogany body and neck, rosewood fingerboard, and gold hardware from Jim DeCola.
Man, I just want a guitar that matches.
Yeah,
it's a nice color combo. I like it.
Thanks, I dig it, man.
Yeah,
and that, it's like when we I'll have when I go to record and stuff, I'll have my Spectre sitting there, and I think we were talking about this earlier, but for the viewers, or were they on? I can't remember. You get to hear it again, folks.
Okay, I'm not sure.
I always grab this Thunderbird just because I know it's gonna have what I need, even if it's just for the rough track of the song. I just love the sound of those, the way that that big long tenon of wood, and then the 2 wings on the side, there's your deal. I've just loved Thunderbirds forever and have a collection.
Yeah, and they're cool looking too.
And they're fucking cool. And they're cool. It's about time they put them back on the line. The first one they sent me for the prototype, like I was saying, the necks are just so big on these things. And I had Jim take this one down to about an 820, and then it goes up to I can't. That's not on the specs, but it's fast, and I like it. It's got a bigger bout, meaning the wings, than say your regular Thunderbird, but it also in that it gives it more sustain, which at first I didn't like from the eye, but now I love it because it gives it even a bigger thump. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It gives more resonance, I guess, with all the woods kind of coming together. I've AB'd this with this is the final one. I'm not getting another prototype. They're coming out July 12th.
Awesome.
So I think the announcement is going to be tonight. and also at NAMM, at the Gibson booth. And so, yeah, man, I'm in part of the Gibson family. I'm really, really excited and honored, man. It's really cool for a bass player to have something like that through the Gibson brand.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And I was not paid to say that.
That's great. That's great. I'm glad to hear it's coming out soon too. Any chance they're going to make a lefty?
I think we had talked about that, and I believe that there's going to be a limited run. There were also, I've got Epiphones coming out the next year that are just like this.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, cool.
And then I have the non-reverse that are coming out in the fall of next year. Of next year, 23. The non-reverse, and they have a Epiphone, and they have those old. The guy that actually made those pickups 40 years ago. Oh man, Richard. Anyway, Richard, if you're out there, I forgot your last name. But dude, they sound amazing. I mean, I just love the thump of those old. I mean, they sound just like those old 76 bicentennial or any time during the 70s. The 70s. I think that's, everybody thinks of the Norland era. They just think of the guitars. They don't think of the basses. The basses were actually really, really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I've got a natural that sounds just slamming without that active stuff on it. You can always push a pedal for your little bit of boost.
Right. That's great. Well, everybody check out Rex's new bass that's coming out in July.
Thanks for letting me do that on here.
Yeah,
dude, I've been burning a hole in my pocket, as they say, for a year now. We've gotten so close, and when that big bout came, I was like, oh God, I guess we'll just put it out. And then I really started playing this some bitch, and I'm not just selling hype. I think it sounds great. It's a lot more sustainment.
Well, I'm honored that you would give us the opportunity to announce it tonight. So thank you.
Man, thanks. I appreciate it, man.
April Malone. We've got a female watching the show.
All right.
One female. Thank you, April. Appreciate it. That's my wife's name, by the way. Watching Rex headbang with his long hair was amazing. Amazing talent, good music, and beautiful hair.
It's still there. I still got it. It doesn't come with the cap, so
Oh, we also have Amanda Coombs here today too. So that's two.
Hi, Amanda.
Awesome. Thanks, Amanda, for making it. I know we got some more questions here. Patrick Miller, my first taste of Pantera was on the school bus in 5th grade when an older dude let me hear a song called Good Friends and a Bottle of Pills on his Walkman, and I was terrified. Greatest metal band of all time. Thanks, Rex. That's fucking awesome. I love it. I was terrified.
I remember we were sitting in the studio in Nashville where we cut Far Beyond, and that song was just, Dom had just got his first, well, he was really using the whammy pedal to its full extent, I'll say, at that point. So he's still experimenting with it, but and Vinny and I just kicked off on this groove. And it was the first time I ever recorded with the 5-string in the studio either. I'd had I can't remember. Yeah, I had a Music Man sent me a 5-string. And so hence began the 5-string era of what I needed. And that it just started as a groove man, and Phil made a funny song out of it. Then later he put the those words on it, and it was just okay, man. All right.
Patrick Miller, thank you for the super chat. Rex, what are your memories of recording Down 2, excuse me, at Phillips Place? Such a great record. Thanks.
I want to say hardly any, but no, that record was really, we had 28 days to do it in, and we had to build a studio in the middle of doing it down in Phillips' barn. And we had a lot of the songs we actually had written in 98. Philip had asked me to come down to New Orleans just to hang out. They used to have barbecues and stuff, and He just put a pool in at his house. So I thought I was just going to go hang. We were going to write whatever. It ends up the rest of the guys from down there, but I didn't think anything of it because they were always around anyway, and they go, "You want to jam?" And I go, "Well, fuck yeah, of course, man. That's what I do." And so we go downstairs and and they pull out a little shitty bass, and we ended up writing, 6 or 7 songs that day. And so to record that thing, we got all the gear out of Nashville. Let's see, I don't even think we had a deal for it at that point. I can't remember if we financed it or I financed it or but it was we had to take turns in the recording we'd have an engineer for 12 hours and then we'd have the producer for 12 hours, right? So he would come down and he'd get his 8 hours of sleep and do whatever else. And so we did this record in shifts, which is like you don't usually do once we had the basic tracks, and there's a lot of overdubs that had to go down. And of course there were glitches, but we got through it. I just remember it was a great time doing that. And we were just doing it as a record. We had no idea that we would, they invited us to do the Ozfest thing, and we went out there for a summer and didn't mean anything. It kind of pissed the boys off. We really didn't think too much about, the whole Pantera thing is that we didn't break up, we broke apart. You know what I'm saying? We, after all, 20 years of living that life, and as hard as we're living, the manager, if we would have had any decent management back in the day, they should have just put us in padded cells and done away the key, But when it came time to jam, it with the Down thing, Philip and I just wanted to put out stuff that we had written, and didn't want to make a big deal of it because Down never toured more than 6-7 dates anyway. But we ended up doing this Ozfest thing, and I wish we wouldn't have done it, but it is what it is. And then 2 years later, the tragedy, But anyway, damn good record. I'm proud of that one.
Cool. Tom Couture, thank you. Rex, I've been a huge fan since I was a little ding dong. I recently posted a video of my grandmother, and his grandmother and him covering Walk on YouTube. She might have played Dime's solo. Thanks so much for all you've done. You and your grandmother. I got to check.
Now you got to post the link.
I think that's like that's a clickbait right there, buddy.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah.
Send the video. Let's see. Yeah, let's watch it on the program.
Okay, post a link, Tom, or send us a link. I want to look it up. Well, while I'm here, I'm gonna go on YouTube and just look real quick. I want to say Walk Grandma. Let's see.
Sure. His name sounds really familiar.
Let's see. Is there a video with? Oh, there's a grandma. There's a grandma walking. But no, I don't have that video. I can't find it.
I think we just got bit, boys. Thanks, Tom. They appreciate $20.
Yeah, send a link. I'm going to the end. Is there a link? Wait, I don't see a link. So if you guys see the link, let me know. That would be fucking funny.
Yeah, it would.
All right, let's see. All right, we got a bunch of questions. Wow. Smitry again. Symmetry. Oh, Symmetry.
I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
That was my fault. I thought it looks like Smitry to me, but Vulgar Videos enabled us to be on the road with you guys. Watching it on the weekend was our church, the best of times of our life. Nice.
I see where you're going now. That makes a lot more sense. Those records that you put in your car and you can remember the time, when I put in Damn Torpedoes, I remember exactly where I was, in 78. And I remember the girl I gave it to for her birthday. Yep. Yeah, man. Yeah, so I can understand that completely. Sometimes I get, I don't want to go. Yeah, I've said all I wanted to say about that. But that's very cool, man. Very, very cool symmetry.
Cool. Bill Lima, thank you. Rex, can you talk about the guitar gear you used on your solo album, Smoke on This? The guitar tone in that record is awesome. Also, are you planning to do more projects playing guitar? We were talking about that offline.
Yeah. I've written a bunch of songs, kiddos and music lovers, and just trying to find the time to put those how I want to do them. As I was telling these guys, you kind of get them to a certain stage, and I've, like I said, probably I've got 25 solid done demos, lyrics, everything. I'm just not crazy about, because in this age that we live in of all this digital stuff, I prefer the sound of 2-inch analog tape to anything. I can hear it in the recordings. I can hear it in the conversions, everything else. I hate the digital sound, and some of this does have that on it, and I don't want it to be that way. So I'm probably going to go back and re-record some of this stuff. I got a whole lot of schlepping this bass to do this year, but maybe summer next year. And look, there's hardly any indie labels or labels period left anymore. They're grabbing up TikTok kids. They don't want to hear from some guy that used to play in a fucking metal band. So, I'll probably end up putting them out myself. But the gear we used for those were Les Pauls and my trusted Telly, and a good friend of mine, Dave Graff, who's does everybody in Nashville, from Keith Urban to a lot of guys. He brought down a 75 super lead and a super bass through the straight Wagner cabs in that real tight sound. Turns out this head was used by John Sykes on that White Snake record, the big one in the 80s, that John had, and somehow he got a hold of it from Dan Huff. Do you know Dan Huff?
Mm-hmm.
Dave? Anyway, so this is the head and I didn't know this till after the fact, but we would just shoot, I think we'd set the master about 6 and then the gain about maybe close to 5. But I had a little J Rocket, Chris Van Tassel.
Yeah.
Great dude.
Yeah.
One of those, he gave me a germanium Archer, and we put this in front of those things, man, and it just sounded ungodly. And I think that my guitar player at the time, he loved the sound of the JBs, which I don't particularly care for now, but I just think they're too shrill. I don't think they're for my ears. They might be cool for a guitar player. For my ears, I hear other, like Saturday Night Specials and more my kind of game, or an old PAF, or anything close to it. But that was a really solid sound. And then for the more mellow parts, I just had a regular Fender, something Fender that you can get, halfway decent clean sound with. Well, I get them up just to the point of breakup, and that's how I like hearing them. Even you can get those through just a little Princeton, put it on 7, let it roar. Even though Dave Cobb said just put everything on 3 and you can get enough gain at the board to do it. Well, the studio we were in, we weren't using boards to do this, and I think that's another problem with some of the stuff. I think that going through an analog board has a lot to do with it also. Instead of, you can tell the different recordings if they were done on, say, your laptop or they were done on a real professional recording desk. Yeah, man, this was about the time I went crazy with the pedals and called every fucking pedal company. I said, hey, man, can you send me this, or what do you have of that? And then I found this thing called Reverb that I actually almost got into, and I wish I damn would have. And so anyway, back then you could get anything you wanted for under $100, or two. Now it's like, $400 for like an original DM1 distortion, Boss.
It's crazy.
Insane.
Prices have gone insane.
It's like everything else, greed. But other than that, man, something about that head and just the way everything was wired up, it sounded just amazing. And I think we tried both the like the super basses have another distinct character to them that I love. They have more of that more scoop mid, I think. Dave, am I getting close here with the super bass between the super lead of the same era?
The super bass would be a much bigger, fatter bottom to it all. So in turn, it sounds, and the EQ is a little more scoop sounding also. So it's more of the 100-watt take on an old Tweed Bassman,
Right.
So it's
which we used also, by the way.
Yeah.
Though you can't go wrong with those.
All the good stuff,
dude. But you got to get away from them. You got to isolate them somewhere, stick them out in the woods, and turn them up real loud. Full blast, and those are fucking incredible amps, like especially the old ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did those have the F3 in those? The older ones? They didn't, did they? Those are only the Tweeds, right?
The Tweed Bassman was sort of what became a Marshall.
Right. Exactly.
Marshall copied with their own twist, and then it kind of escalated from there. But the 100-watt super bass is sort of the Bassman. It's just no tube rectifier. It's 100 watts. It's big, thick in the bass, and
and of course I like that because I'm a bass player. Yeah,
really great with a Strat or a Telly or something, But if you want that, if you want that tight balls out plexi sort of thing, you want a super lead for cranking it if you're doing that thing.
And these were both 75s, and he had matched them and paired them, and I just got lucky, man. I just called him and said, "Hey, can you come take care of some of these guitars I've got that need, they've been in cases for a while, he goes, yeah, do you need any heads or anything?" And I tried to get that head off of him. He wanted like, now this is stupid money for what he wanted that head for, and I knew it was worth it because Keith Urban to this day it's his number one head, or at least the last time right before the pandemic it was. In fact, they had it out there with him, and I went and saw him. Anyway. I think we ran my telly through. John Cruz did maybe an old custom shop telly back in the 90s, and it's just when I took this break in 2015, 14, 15. I was at my house in Texas, and I've got an old '67 super. It's a twin reverb, and I didn't put any effects pedals on it. I just wanted to learn back. I've got all the bar chords. I can do all that. I wanted to get my chops back with just me and that telly and that super reverb. And that's how you want to get real clean, and you want to learn how to play that. Put yourself in a bedroom for about 6-7 weeks and do that. You will probably be better when you come out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's
in fact, we were talking about this today.
No effect.
People hide behind the pedals, I really, and that's the truth. That's what I'm saying. I just like to get it to break up and let the music do the talking, and then you can add your layers over later, But,
exactly.
The ground sound is what I call it.
Right. We got unfucking believable. What's up, man?
All right.
Rex, please talk about the MP Custom Effects Super Gainiac pedal you use, settings, and in use recording and live.
I don't even know what
do you use that pedal? MP Custom Effects Super Gainiac pedal?
Effects Super Gainiac. No, and I think it might have been on my board for about 15 minutes, and somebody might have taken a picture of it. It doesn't. It see what I do in the studios. I have like pedal boards set up, and I'll have different pedals, and I'll go, okay, well, let's try this for, let's maybe try this on this song or something like that. And they might have seen it in a video or, pictures that have. I now know what pedal he's talking about. But this is like 6 years ago. I will use pedals. I'll have them in line. Say there's a bunch, and I'll have like 2 pedal boards, and I'll have, down at this end will be the, closer towards where they're going to hit the heads that we use I use the JD8 in the studio, the radial. And so that way I can get to my little bitty 12-inch, 30-watt Fender, whatever it is. And then I can get to my twin, not the high duty twin, but the 40-watter. And then I have I've got this Ampeg. Oh, don't blow it, Rex. You're just on the tip of your tongue, dude. I get brain parts, guys, so fucking bad. It's the reverber, the rocket reverber, and this one was one of the newer ones that had a chorus in it, also distortion. So we decided to split these two. So anyway, that was for these last set of recordings that I did between 2017. Actually, I recorded an EP of covers, and then I had these other 25 songs. I just hadn't put them out. It just hasn't been the time to do it. Especially with the pandemic and everything. I knew that. Yeah, I didn't see any bright lights in the head of the road saying come. Nobody was going to play. Half these places are shut down now. It sucks.
Yeah.
But as far as the Super Gainiac pedal, it was probably just sitting there. I tried it once and we got rid of it. And I hope I didn't get that from you. And if I do, I'll pay you for it. Whatever.
Ted Rackley, what's up, man? Hartke made some AK series bass cabinets, no aluminum, paper cones that sound great. Geezer Butler used them. AK equals Ampeg killer. Using them with my Randall bass head, all of which is discontinued, sadly.
Yeah, I know which one he's talking about. Those were right before the ones that I think that I got with the 810s. But they did make I believe in the transition between the aluminum and the other, which is probably about a 15-year span. They did make some really good 15s and 12s, but I've always been a 10 guy. I've just been an Ampeg guy. I just don't think anything can touch it. But that's my own personal taste, and you have your personal taste also. So nobody's right in this. Nobody's wrong.
Yep, of course.
I just want to make that clear for everybody. This is just the way I do it, man. If you got something favorite that you think's killer, then it must be killer.
Yeah. It's all about personal taste, right?
I always say there's no
Absolutely.
rules.
There are zero rules in rock and roll.
The minute you apply rules is when it all goes out the window. There's no reason. Learned that a long time ago. I remember doing a pedal board for Tim from Rage, his bass pedal board. And, he had his wah last and the delay first in the chain. And then
that's Tim, though.
And then his secret thing, which was, he would split into an Ampeg, and then on another Ampeg, he would have this essentially Jimi Hendrix octave fuzz pedal, but the fuzz off and just the volume up, and it gave it that grindy octave thing.
Dude, listen to his bass sound. It just like you can't replicate that. It's all in Tim's hands. I've never met the cat. I always have wanted to. If we did, it was just in passing. We never, those guys came out a little bit after us, not very much, but now Tom, I know, I know Tom better. I would love to meet Tim. I love that rhythm section, man. Him and Brad are just fucking the bomb. They're the bomb, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Brad's a badass.
And they probably do a lot of sessions we don't even know about. That's how badass they are.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually have 3 females, 3 ladies. Feisty Feather, cool.
Right on.
Awesome. Wait, 4.
4.
Bren Lourdes. All right, awesome.
Hello.
Awesome.
It's growing our
Must be you,
ratio. It's Rex, exactly. You're bringing all the females, which is great. All the ladies. Modern vintage. Dave, I haven't been able to find a 68 to 72 50 100 watt plexi, but I have a 100 deluxe. Is a small box 50 worth buying as well? Feel and tone difference with the small box and the BE.
Yeah, I mean the small box 50 is awesome,
Yeah.
man. That's a good one. I like how simple it is. You know,
you tried to give me a head like that. You tried to give me that small box, and I said, no, just make me the fucking JMP, right? You remember that amp that you made and you put my logo on it and everything else?
Yeah, fuck, I don't even remember the logo part, but yes, I remember making it.
We have 3 gain stages on it.
Yeah,
and one's a BE, and the other one you took off of Phil X's signature.
Yeah, they're like cooled down, a couple stages cooled down from the BE, and it's got a big beefy power transformer that provides lots of juice. It is a 50 watt, but it's got a 100 watt power transformer in it, which gives it some oomph.
It is mighty, and the cabinet is it's the 212,
right?
It's a slant, but it's got, what does it have? The 75s on top and then the 25s on the bottom.
Oh, did you get a 412? Right? I don't remember now. It's been, I mean, how many years ago was this now?
This is like 2016, 17, or when we were recording that record.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still love the sound of that amp. It's really, I mean, that's that super bass sound we're talking a little bit, you know, not exactly, but you know, really close.
So Bren has a question. Would you go on a world tour, whether it be with Phil, some other band, or by yourself? Sending love from Argentina. Your music is helping me get through some rough times. Thank you, Rex.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, Phil and I just stayed friends, true and true, and you know, we talk all the time. You know, I'd love to get up and play those old songs, and it might come around one of these days. But you know, right now we're just all doing our own different things. So,
right.
Yeah, there's always rumors that float around.
Isn't there?
Yeah,
there's always something, or that, or I'm sick, or whatever. That's the one I get the most.
I don't know. You look pretty healthy.
I'm skinny, man. I'm sorry, guys. I had pancreatitis. You know, I can't eat. I can eat so much food, but my metabolism is so high that I can't retain a lot of fat. So I've been going to this trainer for the last 3 months and feeling pretty good.
You look good.
I took off today just for you guys. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for taking off.
No, I mean, I haven't seen Rex in person until now for since, I don't know, 2015, 16 or something. And you look healthier today than you did then.
Well, thank you. Maybe I'm aging in reverse.
You can only hope, right?
Benjamin Buttons.
That means I'm doing something healthy. You know, I'm all organic when it comes to putting things in my body. I'm very, very peculiar in that way. Only organic, my friend.
Oh, nice. Mr. Anderson, thank you. Rex, if you had access to a time machine, which live show or yours would you like to go back to and experience again? I'll never forget when I first heard Vulgar Display of Power record. Insane.
Man, that's hard. You know, we were just talking about Moscow, and to go relive that again would be, you know, a dream. But I would say any of those. I mean, you know, like I said, you know, I've emphasized it. It was all about, man, you know, just you're only as good as your last show, and that's the way we approached everything. You know, you're only as good as your last note or whatever you did, because you never know what tomorrow is going to. You don't know what tomorrow is going to bring you. Mm-hmm. So it was just. It wasn't said. It was just known. You know. So I mean, there have been some great moments. I would say playing a gig with AC/DC in Bulgaria, and they put the stage in the middle of all the parliament buildings, This was down. It was the day that Ronnie James died. Bless his heart. Nicest man in the world. That was an amazing show. For AC/DC. We had a couple of little problems, but it was all just, technical, throwing your gear up and going. Basically, it was Black Heaven and Hell were supposed to play that night, and we just happened to be in the Eastern Bloc and get there and play the show. But it was just super. But with Pantera, I mean, every night was just, the feelings and the warmth coming from the crowd. It was just amazing. And even I can look at every band I've been in and feel the same. And so I don't want to, say that one's better, but if I go back and relive one, it'd be Moscow for sure. That I can't, like I said, man, I can't explain it. You just can't explain shit like that. The magic,
It's got to be there.
You just got to do it.
Yeah, one.
Oh, go ahead, Dave.
There's one from a Lori Hinkle that's in here that's not a super chat, but what was the craziest thing that you ever remember a fan doing during a concert?
Taking his prosthetic leg off and getting us to sign it on stage. Taking it, and the fans passed it all the way to the stage and then sent it back. Wow. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Or dragging somebody from a wheelchair and having the security guys bring him on stage so he could see the show. Always helping somebody else that needed a little help. Those are the cool moments, man.
Cool.
That is very cool. April Malone, thank you. I used to dance at a gentleman's club. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I danced to Pantera.
What song?
All the metalheads in the club would come to the stage. By far the best metal band ever.
Thank you.
I can see that.
Thank
yep.
You.
No doubt.
You. I don't know what the hell she was dancing to it. Yeah.
The YouTube title is Pantera Walk, guitar cover with Metal Nana. All right, I'm looking this up right now.
We got to watch this, dude.
Okay. All right, hang on. I'm going to go back. Let me find this video.
She's 84 and loves metal.
Pantera Walk
was
guitar
her choice.
Cover. Okay.
I love it. Metal does something to people, man. It just takes them over,
Wait, hang on. Pantera Walk guitar cover Metal Nana. Okay. Metal Nana. Okay, here we go.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Wait. I'm gonna have to share. Let's see how this works. All right.
Let's see if it'll work.
Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but let me try to share my screen. Share screen. Chrome tab. Pantera Walk Nana. Okay. Can you guys see?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Anna, get it. I love that, dude. That's awesome. Does she have a? Oh my God! She's got a Pantera sweater on. Is that no? No.
I think she's got a.
Awesome. All right, that's good. That's good, Mark.
Oh, that's funny as shit.
Dude, what was the cat's name? That's the coolest thing I have seen in forever. Thanks
Tom
so
Couture.
much, dude.
Now watch we get a copyright infringement.
That is well, Time Warner, baby.
That's awesome, Tom.
That is just amazing, dude.
That's cool.
Oh my God, dude.
I love when she threw the walker down. That's fucking. That's,
she wasn't walking on. She wasn't walking on home.
Let's see. Patrick Miller, what was your favorite song to cover in Pantera? I know you guys did Van Halen, right? You loved. I mean, those.
Yeah,
they loved Van Halen.
We loved our Van Halen. God, I'm trying to think. You know, we did Planet Caravan off Far Beyond, and we did that because they wanted us to record a song for another label's tribute to Black Sabbath. And so, of all things, we picked, you know, Planet Caravan of all things, because of course they're expecting something really heavy, you know, from us. And Phil goes, man, let's do Planet Caravan. So we actually learned the song in about 15 minutes, and I played fretless bass on it and played synthesizer on it. You know, it's got the little synth thing, and we had this little Casio, I think, whatever it was. I just kind of hit the notes. We put a tail echo on it, and Vinny played the bongos, and Dime went. Okay, now this is very, very important. Dime, when he went to play that lead, the first one, I had to leave the room because it was so fucking good. And then Dime always wanted to play two more, you know, he thought that he had. This one came, this solo from him is if not my favorite solo from Dime, in the top two. He looked at me, he goes, man, which, I said, Dime, it's always the first one because it comes from your heart, you know, and that's exactly what it was. I mean, he just, you know, Planet Caravan is also, you know, it's like a E9 kind of a chord, and just the way that Dime played, it was the perfect chording for him to play over, and the way he put those notes together just off the fly. You know, he always came in with something, but we cut this so quick that I think we had gone out to dinner, and he just came back and let that one have it, man. And to me, it was like, I won't say eruption because that changed fucking everything for everyone. But I will say that it was in there with the D's, you know, the Randy Rhoads, one of those moments for me of listening to that and being right next to my best friend that just played it. So I keep that in my heart. Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, great. Zach Sabbath, always wanted to hear Pantera Skinner cover. That would be cool.
Yeah, you and a lot of other people. Man, I love Skinner. I love my Skinner, man.
So Tom says Nana's gonna freak,
but they weren't a huge. Yeah, Nana's gonna freak. Absolutely, I want to meet Nana. I do. I want to get in touch with Tom. We'll talk about it after the show, Mark. We'll get Tom. We'll get Tom's address and everything else. I want to get in touch with him.
Awesome.
I love doing that.
That's awesome. Just got another super chat. James Maxwell. Dave, I saw Journey in Detroit Tuesday. Please do us a favor and send Neil one of your amps. Total Fizz. Great show, Rex. Thank you.
Well, you know, it was this was something that was sort of in the works, but
what's he playing to?
Axe Effects.
Oh, he is. That's right.
Mostly has a Marshall that can kind of come in a little bit.
I forgot about the Planet.
It's mostly in Axe Effects. It's mostly the same thing he's been doing, and I you know, frankly, I just didn't think he was going to change either. But
every time I catch that cat, he is noodling a fucking goddamn. I mean, you know, he put the Instagram videos up, and he's just going after it. I mean, he's just playing nonstop.
Yeah, note is like
it all sounds unbelievable, but when you try to translate that to the stage, you're gonna have a little trouble, man. You got too much shit turned on, you know.
Yeah, agreed.
I think Neil's just an incredible player.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, he's written some of the greatest rock songs.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt. But he should get
the first time I met him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you've met him before?
I met the dude when I was like, he didn't know who the fuck I was. Probably still doesn't. But yeah, my buddy, the guy that did all of Joe Harone, who did all the Pantera shots through all the ages. There was him and Hart, and so Joe went up to coordinate a photo shoot or whatever, and they were having a little party up in the hotel at one of those Foundation Forum things. I don't know if you remember those guys in the early '90s, and just super cool people, man. It was a party. I mean, it was a party, like, yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's the first encounter of Neil.
PRS 1986. Wow, thank you for the super chat. Rex.
Dimes Yamaha combo from the Cowboy. I want that back.
Maybe you might remember it. Vinny saw a video of the amp and couldn't believe someone found it. I can email you guys some pics. Thanks for the great news.
Yeah, man, if you wouldn't mind PRS or Mateo, we would love to have that back.
Email me. You can email me at tonetalkmark, MARC, tonetalkmark@gmail.com, and PRS. So Mateo, email me, and I'll get you in touch with Rex. Okay?
That would be great, Mateo. Please do that for us. This amp played a very important role in the early days of Pantera, and how you ended up with that, I have no idea. But I hope you've used it to its best, and I hope it still works.
Yeah, but it would be really cool if you be in a position, Mateo, to return it back to people who love Dime. That would be cool. Yeah, definitely reach out to me. All right. April Malone. I dance to walk, broken, 5 minutes alone. Right. Revolution is my name. Cowboys from Hell, Psycho Holiday, This Love, Mouth for War, Domination, A New Level, Becoming. Oh, so a lot of songs.
I can see Psycho Holiday and This Love, and yeah. Well, hell, I didn't know that we were a big strip club band.
It's funny. I haven't been to a strip club that many times. I actually remember Pantera being played at a strip club when I was there. I can't remember what song it was, but
Vinny loved nothing more than anywhere that there was ladies on a stage doing what they do, and he would every night go looking towards those places. And so, of course, me and Dime were always, we stayed together.
Right.
One Phillips thing, and we go out for a couple of drinks after the show, and if we wanted to see the city, and Biddy always wanted to go and do that kind of thing. But I haven't, we probably went to everyone in every place that we ever played, and if I never see another one, it'll be too soon. That's okay. You don't
want to have the lunch buffet?
I'm done, just kind of over it.
Yeah,
kind of done. I'm kind of just done with it. So
I was driving. I went to Guitar Center out in Hallandale. I live in Florida here, so I went down to Guitar Center this past week, and I was leaving. I'm looking down the street, and I see the Cheetah.
Cheetahs?
Man.
I'm like, holy shit, the Cheetah's still open. So I just drove by it. I took a picture, and I was so tempted to go in. Part of me was like, go in, just go in.
I've been to that one. You've
been to the Cheetah? Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's one in town called the Cheetah.
We used to go to this one here in North Hollywood called Star Garden.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Star Garden.
Star Garden was a rock and roll strip club for sure. That was no frills.
That was the girls video or whatever. Yeah, that was on the strip, wasn't it?
No. Star Garden's in North Hollywood. On the strip was.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, Body Shop. I got them reversed.
I think that's still there. I don't know.
John DeShane, I so wish we could hear you more back in the day.
Me too. Man, it was so hard. Dom had this sound. It was just so crushing and so killer, man.
Well, the
It's
first
just
album, it's hard to hear you. The first album.
And that was, and I played so much more that you can't hear on it. But the thing was that we were just, as Vinny played those big ass toms, and trying to get everything into a little bitty fucking hole, you know what I'm saying? With all those sounds, it was really hard getting those bass frequencies through, even though they're a major part of that guitar sound.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Because a lot of the riffs were in unison, and that was
the
power. That was the power groove,
Mm-hmm.
So if you listen real closely, the low ends of that are the bass, but some of the fills you cannot hear because they just, I think a lot of guys, even Newstead will say this. It's half my fault for not pushing it further. I just out of respect for like producers and stuff like that, you expect them to get the best that they can. It's also your job to be there for the fucking mix, and try to push those up. But then you have, oh, will this guy go away kind of problem,
Right.
and I've never been that kind of guy. I don't like to step on other people's feet. And so, like I was saying, it was really hard to get that any kind of sound until I found the Spectres. And that's really where we started getting those upper, the lower, what guitar players would call the lower mid section. I would say the higher mid for a bass player, if you understand. That's where those basses really came in handy, and they cut through.
Great. That's awesome. Patrick Miller, is there another Pantera home video coming out? I've seen it teased on the Pantera social media accounts.
There will be.
Oh, wow.
We're, because of the, poor Vinny passed a couple of years ago, and because of the estates and all that kind of stuff, I can't get into it more than saying, yes, there will be.
That's cool.
That's all yeah, man. And it's yes.
Awesome. JT's Gear Garage, his old singer, or their old singer, worked at the Star Garden.
And then later on, down in the chat, he says Ariel, and I remember her.
That's poor Dave.
She sang on NXS Rockstar. Oh, I think I remember. I remember there was a chick on that show. I remember that. That's funny. Ariel, there you go. Yep. Awesome.
I think in that place.
Dave knows her.
You don't know her?
I don't know.
That's so funny. I think we've gotten all the super chats.
Yeah.
So guys, make sure you check out Rex's bass that's coming out in July.
One more time, I'll show you a little preview of it. Some of it's coming out in July. As you can tell, I'm not very super proud of this at all.
No,
it's hot, man.
I just like that black and gold. It looks killer.
Yeah, it looks great. It really does.
There you go.
Killer. So any other questions, Dave, that I missed?
Not super chats, I don't think. There might be something.
Here's another lady, Lori Hinkle. Hi, I'm telling you, Rex, you're bringing out all the ladies.
My goodness,
this is the most ladies we've had on the show.
I'm taking gals.
Lori Hinkle, hey Rex, do you have any favorite country or state to play in?
Oh, no, they're all the same to me, man. It's all one group of, if you come to one of those shows, no, it would be number one rude of me to say one state above the other, because
I don't know. You could maybe say one city over the other.
Oh, I always love playing my hometown. I'll just put it that way. That was always very special.
I'm sure.
How about that? How's that?
That's fine.
Of course.
Many people have said Detroit, which is where I'm
from.
Detroit.
We were one of the last bands that played Cobo Hall.
Yeah, Cobo Hall. Detroit's always a fucking vicious rock and roll town.
It is, but it's been talked about a million times. You know what I'm saying? Detroit is great. Chicago. I mean, all the big cities are it's going to be on. It's the other ones that surprise you, and my memory is fucking. I can't remember last Thursday, but I can remember 30 years ago, like it was yesterday, right?
Right, exactly. That's normal.
So I guess I am aging right correctly.
This is a great question from V-Man. Is there any old Pantera music that was not released that may be at some point?
We've been to the vaults, man. We've looked. The last song that we have is a song called "Piss." That was that was a riff I had that ended up in two different songs. This one and Use My Third Arm off of Far Beyond. And that it was just a different. We had done it at different time spaces, like or maybe it had gotten changed during when the record had taken its like when you got to get through the first couple of songs, see what the record how it's going to take shape. So this one might have been done first, and then we got back to it later, but it actually didn't. This one we recorded it around the Vulgar days. It's one of the last things written and had an intro, and then that Dime had, and then I had the main riff, and then we ended up taking one of those riffs. Anyway, dude, trust me, there was enough riffs to go around.
That's cool. Well, I want to thank
many years more. Thank you so much,
Rex, man. It's a pleasure to meet you and to have you on the show. Truly an honor. And guys, thanks for watching the show. Our next guest, I think, is Dave Navarro that we've lined up. Although I think we've got some more people. Hang on. Let me look at my notes here. That's right. We've got Jason from Head First Amps who's coming on March 18th.
Yep.
And then also I heard from Adrian Vanderberg.
Nice.
He's coming on.
Yeah.
So, which I actually may have to switch Jason again because I think Adrian said he was taking that date, the 18th. So
for Jason.
Yeah, sorry, Jason.
I think I've been through this before, Mark. No, excuse me. It didn't happen that way.
Oh man, no, dude! I felt so bad yesterday.
Oh, dude,
your internet died.
I know, but I'm just.
I was calling Dave. I was like, dude, Dave, please answer your goddamn phone. The only number I had for him.
Yeah, but I knew that he was trying to reach me. I was so pissed. I was like, I know he's trying to reach me, and we're supposed to do this test. and then as soon as it came on,
anyway.
Yeah, as soon as it came on, and I saw the text. I'm like, oh God, thank you. That thing, So,
right.
Anyway, I was freaking, but it's great to meet you, man. I'm sorry.
Dude, thanks so much for having me, guys. This is really kind of just an honor. You get a lot of guitar players on here. You hardly, It's nice to be recognizing the bass world here tonight.
Yeah, so
man.
It's we haven't had that many bass players on, so it definitely is nice to have you on.
I think you're the actual first just bass player that came on the show. It was going to be Jeff Pilson, but Jeff Pilson came on unbeknownst to
George came on.
George. Right.
That episode was classic. Yeah, that was awesome. That went on 2.5 hours for us.
Yeah,
we've been going an hour and a half or more.
Yeah, so, we're at 2 hour mark.
Man, this is just like I said, I watch the show all the time, and I just love talking shit anyway. So there we
go. John DeShane, I don't want to miss what you said. He said you would have been tool heavy if you were in the mix. Ampeg rig, maybe. Love your work.
There's a lot of mids dipped out of those Ampegs. You're right. It is a this kind of deal. There you go.
Yep. Cool.
You're correct. Whoever said that.
That was John DeShane. I got your super chat, bro.
Thanks, John.
Sorry if I missed it before, man. And thanks to everybody who's watching again. Oh, wait. Let's see. Oh, Tom just emailed me. And make sure that guy, Mateo, please email me again at tonetalkmark@gmail.com about
that would mean the world to me, man.
About that amp. Okay. Because I want to, this is right here. Dimes Yamaha. So please email me about that. PRS 1986. All right.
Very, very important.
All right. Hang on the line, Rex. Everybody have a great weekend.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.